Howdy y'all, thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys are doing well. I just got back from the climbing gym and climbed a lot of cool stuff today. At least I think they're cool. Hopefully you guys think they're cool as well. And again, feel free to leave any input on how to improve the channel, or if you're climbers, feel free to critique my climbing techniques, and hope you guys enjoy. So at the beginning of each climbing session, I find a few beginner routes to climb. I usually use those to warm up my fingers, that way they're not as stiff for later on the more demanding routes. Also work on footwork whenever I can. For now you'll see about 6 bouldering routes that I use to warm up, and then later on you'll see the ones that will require more effort with the fingers at least. This bouldering problem is a good example of using your feet more than your arms. As you can see at the beginning of this route, I use my leg to kick over to reach for the right hand, then I use my right foot to smear against the wall. And as I'm reaching up, I try to find footing, so that way I use my feet to stand up instead of pulling myself up with my arms. So on this bouldering route, you'll see an example of someone who does not read the route, meaning someone doesn't plan out the moves before getting on the wall. And usually when that happens, you spend more time on the wall and waste more energy. Right here you see me go for a heel hook, and later on I realized that's not really that useful. And if I looked to my left, I would have seen more holds for me to be able to use. This boulder is a bouldering cup problem from what I've been told. On this first attempt you see me trying to get on without running up, and then you'll see how successful I am right now. And then the second attempt right here is me running up. Now that I'm on the problem, I have to trust my feet on the volumes and make my way over to the right to this volume. You'll see me reach over to the pink holds, and when I do, I try to shift my center of gravity over to the right. This problem wanted me to have my center of gravity at the right, but now it's wanting me to turn it to the left side. So you see me try to pivot my body to the left, right here, and then I'm able to grab the top. So the beginning of this route wasn't too difficult, but it's later on where you see the crux, or the most difficult part of the problem. So right here is the crux for most people, where they have to step up on their right leg more. But for me, I was just able to use my long ape index to reach up. And then from here, I mantle up on the hold, meaning I just push myself up after getting mostly on top of it, and then I'm able to grab the top. The beginning of this problem is a fun little traversal. What that means is you just go left or right instead of going up or down. Right here there's some foot chips to my right, but at the time I didn't really think to use those. So instead I just pour up and pull myself up. And now I use the right foot chips. So on this problem I've seen people do statically, but from what I've saw it's tough on the left shoulder, and my shoulders aren't that great at the moment. So right there I do a dyno into a double clutch. This route right here required a bit of a burly move just to stay on the wall. So after establishing the route, you'll see me go for the bigger one. There's a small hold on the bottom, but I figured the bigger one feels nicer. And the same applies to this one and the other bigger one that you see. The position this boulder puts you in makes you feel like the one on the right is way too far to grab. But since I was already up there, I figured I'd just make it worth my while. That way I don't have to do it again. So this next problem is an interesting one. It's a sit start, meaning it's a low start. You'll see me attempt it a few more times after this initial view. So right now I'm projecting the move to try to get to the next one. Yeah, that's tough on my wrist. So after doing it from the start, I tried to do the move that I did when I was projecting it, but I was unable to figure out where to put my feet, and that's my last attempt. I got real pumped after that. My initial reading on this boulder was to toe hook on the start hold, and then match on the sloper on the left, and then paddle to the further one on the left. But I saw a beta where I used this volume, which was a lot smarter and a lot easier on the shoulders. So once I transition over to the left sloper, I'm able to put my right heel on the right sloper, and I can chill for a bit, and then the rest of the other holds are slopers as well.
I guess there's 3 ways to do it. I didn't even think of using the volume.
Bro. On this problem, there's a static way to do it, but I didn't really like how I saw someone else do it, so I decided to go for this dyno and to the double clutch. So this is one of my favorite boulders in the set so far. Reason being is because it doesn't take a lot of moves to finish, so not a lot of energy wasted. So the next hold is a little bit higher than I can grab. So to reach it, I'm going to have to put my left foot where my left hand is. And to do that, I smear my foot on the wall and then pull myself up with my right arm and lock off. So this problem right here is a slab problem, meaning it's more footwork than it is upper body. So I go for the sloper with my right hand, but that's not enough to stay on the wall. So I'm going to have to put my left foot on the side of the volume to create enough tension, and then I can comfortably reach the left sloper. There's a little nub that I try to place my right foot on to help me stay on the volume, but it doesn't really help that much. I think I need shoes that are good at edging. I actually try this boulder a lot more after this, so you're going to see more of the same. This is my last attempt, and then I move on to something else. So after establishing the start, I go for the left crimp, and then a right heel hook. Then I go for a right hand on the big pinch. Then I bicycle with my feet, and then go for the left crimp. And that will be the beta for the rest of my attempts. So I'm able to go for the crimp without slipping off. I successfully switch over, and then I go for this left hand sloper. The next hold is a blocked crimp, which I go for my right hand, and then I do a right heel hook. From here, I don't read the route enough, so I get lost in the sauce.
You got it, man.
What did I do last time? Oh. So on this attempt, I dial in the beta that I've been working on for a while. So from here, I'm going to commit to putting my right heel on where I pinched earlier, then my left foot on that small crimp, and then I reach over with my left hand up to the finish. So what you're seeing right now is a speed wall for speed climbing. It's one of the things I'm currently interested in. This wall isn't as high as a regulation one, so we're missing the last two moves, I believe. So I missed one of the holds, so instead of trying to save it, I just figured just let go, come to the bottom, take a break, and then try again. So this is the full attempt at speed climbing. The earlier attempts kind of wore me out more than I thought, so I didn't do the beta as thoroughly as I would have liked.